I used to deal in foreclosures exclusively, and I dealt with a lot of HUD houses back then. This is back in, I think it was 1991 that this deal was done. But back then, you could buy HUD houses about 50 or 60 cents on the dollar. Today, you can't touch them for that. But I had a guy who got one of my flyers and some information about HUD houses, and he called me up about a house in his area, and I went and showed it to him, and he wrote a contract on it, and it wasn't a HUD house, it was actually a VA foreclosure. But he wrote a contract for it, and then I submitted it. It was a sealed bid, and he won. And it was $500 earnest money deposit that he had to put down, and he won the bid. So when he won the bid, I called him up. I said, Sam, congratulations, you won the bid. And he had the worst case of buyer's remorse I've ever seen in my life. He just went, oh, Stu, you know, I'm really happy, but, you know, I can't do it because, you know, my dog's died and my wife's sick. And, I mean, he just made every excuse in the book. And finally, I said, okay, Sam, and if you don't want to do it, it's all right. But the rule is you put $500 earnest money down, you're going to lose your earnest money if you pull the plug on the VA. And he said, oh, man, they can have the money. That's okay. I mean, it was terrible. So I wrote the VA a letter, and while I'm writing the letter, I thought, well, let me take a shot at it. I'll try and get his money back for him. So I made, you know, I wrote up a nice little reason why he didn't do it, and I sent the letter. I didn't think much of it. And a week later, I get a letter back from the VA. It says, give him back his $500. So I said, that's cool. I called Sam up. I said, Sam, let's go have a cup of coffee. Go and have a cup of coffee, and I give him a check for $500. Well, he thought I was the greatest thing since sliced bread and cornmeal, you know. And, oh, Stu, I'm so happy. And so he started to talk to me about this rich friend that he had who's from Brazil. He's got this rich buddy from Brazil, and one day he's going to come here and he's going to buy all kinds of real estate, and they'll use me as the broker. What do you think I said to that? Yes. Yeah, right. You think I believed it? No, but I'm not going to tell him I think he's, you know, full of it. So I said, yeah, right, no problem. Well, about a year and a half, 2 years go by, and I get a phone call from him. And we'd kind of been friends. You know, we have a cup of coffee every now and then or whatever. But 2 years go by, I get a phone call from Sam. He says, remember that guy that I told you about from Brazil? He's here. This was when the Resolution Trust Company was closing stuff. And it's not the Sheraton anymore, or it's the Sheraton now, but it used to be the Radisson Hotel right down here in downtown Orlando. And back then it was in foreclosure through the Resolution Trust. And he said, Stu, Sam is here, or George is here, and he wants to buy the Radisson Hotel. I said, bring him down. And he came down to my office, and he wrote a contract for $16 million right there on the spot to buy the Radisson Hotel. And actually, there was 3 contracts we ultimately had to write to get the deal done. But he bought the Radisson Hotel for $16 million. And my commission on that deal was 2%. One check, $320,000, just like this. Why? Because I was a nice person. I just tried to do what was right. Now, there's a couple of things that I want to tell you here about this. Number one, guys, if you do what's right, it will come back to you. I mean, it doesn't always come back where you think. But what you give out, you will get back. That's number one. But the rest of the story is he bought the Radisson Hotel for $16 million. Then he went down to Miami and bought another hotel down there for about $30 million. And the hotel that he bought in Miami was near the airport and had some retail space in it, and it had, I think, an extra some extra acreage with it beside the airport, so it's a valuable piece of property. And he was running these hotels, and this was from 1991 or 92 until the last year or so. And in the last couple of years, he decided to change the flag. Change the flag means change the name from Radisson, which is not high-end, to Sheraton. But when you change the name, you have to upgrade the hotel, and it's a fairly expensive proposition. So he spent a whole bunch of money upgrading both of these hotels to Sheraton, and a company came in from Europe and offered him $300 million to buy his hotel assets, which is these 2 properties. And he said, yes. No, I want 320. And they negotiated back and forth, and then the market started to dump. and they pulled their offer and went away, and he just went bankrupt for $80 million. Now, when you ask about the hotel business, here's what I know about the hotel business. I know it can make you a lot of money, and I know it can eat you up in a heartbeat, just like that. Okay? You have to know the business. Okay? Everybody wants to be in the hotel business when it's running 80%, 90% occupancy. When it's running 60% occupancy, people are running like fleas from a dog that's been treated. Okay? So if you don't know the business, it'll eat you up. You know,